Lech Walesa, Polish labor leader who defied the USSR, condemns Trump in scathing letter. Former Polish political prisoners liken Trump's treatment of Zelensky to communist-era interrogations. Lech Walesa, the iconic leader of Poland's Solidarity movement that helped dismantle Soviet dominance in Eastern Europe, joined former Polish political prisoners on Monday in an impassioned letter condemning Donald Trump's treatment of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Expressing horror and disgust, they likened Trump's Oval Office scolding of Zelensky to the intimidation tactics of communist-era officials. In the letter, written in Polish, the signatories voiced their deep unease. "We are terrified that the atmosphere in the Oval Office during this conversation was disturbingly reminiscent of the interrogations we endured at the hands of the Communist Security Service and courtrooms under the regime's control." They drew a direct parallel to their own experiences, recalling how communist prosecutors and judges, acting under orders from an all-powerful political police, would dismiss their pleas, insisting, much like Trump, that they held all the power. Trump's remarks to Zelensky, particularly his assertion that "you don't have the cards," struck a painful chord with the former detainees. They recalled how communist officials would demand that dissidents cease their activities, arguing that their resistance was causing suffering for countless innocent people. Trump's rebuke of Zelensky, telling him he was gambling with the lives of millions of people for insisting on security guarantees, echoed these same coercive tactics. The letter, signed by Walęsa and more than 30 prominent former Polish political detainees, was posted on Walensa's Facebook page. Accompanying it was a historical photograph of Walęsa meeting Trump, who appeared grinning in a tuxedo. The English translation of the letter, though imperfect, underscored the depth of their dismay. A stinging critique of Trump's stance on Ukraine. Walęsa and his co-signers expressed outrage that Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance had berated Zelensky for not expressing sufficient gratitude for U.S. support. Gratitude is due to the heroic Ukrainian soldiers who shed their blood in defense of the values of the free world. The letter stated, "We do not understand how the leader of a country that symbolizes freedom cannot see this." While many European leaders were privately alarmed by Trump's treatment of Zelensky, they refrained from public criticism, wary of provoking his ire. Walensa's letter shattered that silence, exposing deep European concerns that the U.S. under Trump is shifting away from its historical role of opposing autocratic bullies, and instead aligning with them. The letter also evoked the legacy of President Ronald Reagan, who played a crucial role in supporting resistance against Soviet rule. President Reagan understood that in the Soviet Union and its satellite states, millions suffered under oppression and thousands of political prisoners paid for their defense of democracy with their freedom, they wrote. A warning to the United States. The signatories pleaded for the U.S. not to abandon its decades-long commitment to defending democracy. The history of the 20th century shows that whenever the United States distanced itself from democratic values and its European allies, it ultimately put itself at risk. Their message was clear. Turning away from the fight against tyranny not only endangers Europe, but also threatens America's own future.